Eala survives Sasnovich in Abu Dhabi Open thriller, reaches quarterfinals. Alexandra Eala completed a dramatic comeback to defeat Alexandra Sasnovich of Belarus in 3 sets, 2-6, 6-4, 7-6, 5, on Wednesday, Thursday in the Philippines, to advance to the quarterfinals of the Abu Dhabi Open singles event. The 20-year-old Eala looked on the brink of elimination in the deciding set after falling behind 0-4. She clawed back to 2-4, but Sasnovich regained control to move ahead 5-2. Refusing to fold, the WTA-ranked number 45 Eala strung together 4 straight games to seize a 6-5 advantage. Sasnovich, however, forced a tiebreak at 6-6, setting up a tense finish. The two traded points in the breaker, with Sasnovich briefly taking a 5-4 edge. Eala responded with 3 consecutive points to seal the victory and cap a stirring rally. Napasubo talaga ako done, Eala said in her post-game interview. The match swung on narrow margins. Sasnovich finished with 5 aces and won 121 total points, while Eala recorded 111. Both players posted similar serving numbers, with Eala landing 71% of her first serves and Sasnovich at 69%. Breakpoint chances were plentiful on both sides, as Sasnovich converted 6 of 11, while Eala drilled 5 of 17. Eala will return to action on Thursday night, Friday in the Philippines, with partner Janice Tien as they battle Zhang Shuai and Christina Buxa in the quarterfinals of doubles event. Eala survives Sasnovich in Abu Dhabi Open thriller, reaches quarterfinals. The Abu Dhabi night had settled into a warm, humming stillness when Eala bent down to retie her shoes. It was a small gesture, almost invisible in the grand frame of a WTA stadium, but it felt symbolic, one last pause before stepping back into the storm. Across the net stood Alexandra Sasnovich, a seasoned fighter with a game built on timing, angles, and the quiet confidence of someone who has been here many times before. Between them lay more than a place in the quarterfinals of the Abu Dhabi Open. There was momentum, belief, and the fragile line between breakthrough and heartbreak. From the opening games, it was clear this would not be a gentle passage for the teenager from the Philippines. Sasnovich struck early, redirecting pace with ease, probing Eala's movement, forcing her to hit one more ball than she wanted to. The rallies were sharp, physical, and unforgiving, long exchanges that dragged both players wide and deep, testing legs as much as lungs. Every point felt negotiated rather than won. Eala, however, did not blink. She absorbed the pressure with a composure that belied her age. When Sasnovich pulled her wide, Eala sprinted. When the Belarusian changed rhythm, Eala adjusted. And when the moment demanded courage, she swung freely, sending heavy forehands down the line that cut through the night air like declarations of intent. The crowd sensed it early. This was not just a contest of skill, but of resilience. Momentum swung back and forth like a pendulum. A break gained was a break surrendered. Applause rose, fell, then rose again as each player refused to let the other escape. Sasnovich leaned on her experience, mixing in slices and drop shots, trying to draw errors. Eala responded with raw intensity, stepping inside the baseline, taking the ball early, insisting on dictating her own fate. There were moments when it seemed the match might slip away from her. A missed opportunity here. A double fault there. The kind of moments that, for young players, can grow into doubts. But Eala showed no visible signs of panic. Between points, she reset, eyes forward, shoulders loose, mind uncluttered. If there was a turning point, it came not from a single spectacular winner but from a sequence of survival. A grueling rally that ended with Eala scrambling to retrieve one last ball. A hold of serve achieved the hard way. A clenched fist, subtle but meaningful. She was still here. As the match wore on, the physical toll became evident. Sasnovich's shots lost a fraction of their bite. Eala's legs, though heavy, kept carrying her into position. The rally shortened, not because either player lacked courage, but because every strike now carried urgency. And then came the final stretch, the part of the match that separates contenders from survivors. With the finish line in sight, nerves crept in. Serves tightened. Returns grew bolder. Every point felt like a referendum on belief. Sasnovich, drawing on her experience, pushed hard, refusing to concede. Eala, staring down the weight of expectation and opportunity, met fire with fire. One last exchange. One more ball forced back into play. And then, at last, the error came, off Sasnovich's racket. For a heartbeat, Eala stood still. Then relief washed over her. The handshake at the net was respectful, understated, the way it often is after battles that take everything out of both players. Sasnovich walked off knowing she had tested her opponent to the limit. Eala lingered for a moment longer, acknowledging the crowd, breathing in the significance of what she had just accomplished. A quarter-final berth at the Abu Dhabi Open. Another step forward in a career unfolding faster with each passing week. This victory was not about perfection. It was about survival. About staying present when the match threatened to slip away. About trusting preparation, instinct, and heart in equal measure. Against a player of Sasnovich's caliber, there were no shortcuts, only resolve. For Philippine tennis, it was another quiet milestone. For Eala herself, it felt like a statement. She belongs in these moments, under these lights, against opponents who demand everything. As she packed her bags and left the court, the night no longer felt heavy. It felt open, promising. The tournament would move on, as it always does. New opponents, new challenges, new narratives waiting to be written. But this match, this gritty, hard-earned escape, would linger as a reminder that progress is rarely smooth and breakthroughs often arrive disguised as battles. Eala didn't just win in Abu Dhabi. She endured. Eala survives Sasnovich in Abu Dhabi Open thriller, reaches quarterfinals. The desert air of Abu Dhabi carried a peculiar tension as Eala walked onto the court, quiet, focused, and unafraid. Under the floodlights, where every bounce echoed and every breath felt amplified, she was preparing for a match that would demand far more than clean strokes and clever tactics. This would be about endurance, about belief, about staying upright when the ground beneath you begins to shake. Across the net stood Alexandra Sasnovich, a player forged by years on the professional circuit, her game layered with experience and patience. She was the kind of opponent who waits for hesitation, for impatience, for the smallest crack. Against her, nothing comes easily. From the first rally, the match announced itself as a battle. Sasnovich struck with depth and intent, dragging Eala side to side, testing her legs and her discipline. The rally stretched, sometimes past a dozen shots, each exchange a negotiation of will. Eala responded with courage, stepping into the court, unleashing forehands that spoke of ambition rather than fear. She did not retreat. She refused to shrink. But survival came at a cost. Momentum shifted relentlessly. A break of serve here. An immediate response there. The scoreboard refused to offer comfort to either player. When Sasnovich surged, Eala absorbed the pressure. When Eala pressed forward, Sasnovich countered with sharp angles and sudden changes of pace.